text like Nike, let me give you a good night kiss.
What's up YouTube, it's Check Like Nike back with another video from the one and only Nike's Corner. As promised, I'm trying to make more YouTube videos. So that being said, I need to start somewhere. So I'm going to start with week 7 of the NBA. This is actually like a good point in the season because nothing has really happened yet, but like enough has happened where I can talk about it. I chose to talk about week 7's release of the MVP ladder. So they released one on December 5th, 2022, which as of today was 2 nights ago. The number one for MVP race right now is none other than the Jason Tatum. So last week, Jason was at number 3, where he now has surpassed Giannis and Luka, who are still the top 3. And another exciting change from last week was the appearance of Anthony Davis, a little guest appearance from the LA Lakers, who have been playing much better as opposed to the start of the season where they started off 5-0.
How many games in a row would the Lakers have to lose for you to unretire, for you to come back to the team?
If they go 0-5, I'll think about it.
You will think about it,
No.
huh?
And then there was one more change that kind of mostly stood out to me, was the swap for Donovan Mitchell for Sabonis. I'm not the biggest Sabonis fan, but I don't know if that's because I'm biased, because that's who got one of the All-Star reserves the year Zach was supposed to be an All-Star reserve. So we're just going to completely blow past that, and I'm not going to make any comments on Sabonis. Best to you and your Kings. I will say one thing about Sabonis is the Kings were kind of a surprise this season for the way they're playing. They destroyed the Nets a couple weeks ago. Destroyed the Nets. Like, I don't know how Kevin Durant showed face after that. I couldn't even bear to watch the screen. Destroyed the Nets. They had every bench reserve. They called people up from the G League just to put them in the fourth quarter of that game. That's how bad the Nets played. Forfeit. Immediate forfeit. But for me, the biggest surprise this season was the Utah Jazz. We don't have anybody up here, but the Jazz are really popping off. I just think Donovan being on the list is just so iconic because he just dropped like 40 points on the Lakers. And this was released before he did that. He literally just did that. Like, he just did that. But anyway, I don't want to jump around. I want to get right to Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum and the Celtics might just be the best team we are going to see for the entire season. We even saw them go to the finals last year as one of the best teams, if not the best Eastern team in that case. And they're having a better season than they even came close to last year. And they still went to the finals last year. And they're probably going to go to the finals again. That might be dramatic, but listen, hear me out. The Celtics started off in the first 24 games of the season. Last year, they were 13-11. This year, they're 19-5. 19 wins and only 5 losses. First of all, they just added Blake, who's kind of falling into his place as a role player. I used to be a big Blake Griffin fan back when he was on the Lob City Clippers. I still am a Blake Griffin fan, but as you know, he's just not the Blake Griffin that we kind of used to know. An example of how Blake has become a kind of important piece of the Celtics, who actually Tatum is happy with having him there.
Has had a hell of a career. Somebody like that to come in and buy in and, you know, do things that you guys don't see every day. He takes the first bus, you know, he plays pick up on off days with, you know, the two-way guys, and, you know, that's not necessarily always normal, especially for somebody that, you know, has accomplished what he has and made all the, you know, the money that he has. For him to still have that mindset of team first and just being a great teammate, you know, just little things like that that we all notice, and everybody shows that in one way or another. So we just got a really great group of selfless guys.
But better yet, he had a clutch play 2 nights ago, which is actually what led Tatum to say this. Tatum on his own, he's an MVP. He's an MVP candidate. I want him to win it. Now, I can talk your ear off about Jason Tatum right now. He's the youngest player to hit 900 threes. But I also kind of want to go on and on about someone who's not on the MVP ranking list, and that's Jaylen Brown. Are Tatum and Brown the best duo in the NBA? I would say so. The game against the Nets, where they copped the dub, they both dropped the double-double. Dub, double-double, double. Dub in the double. They got a dub in the double-double. They got double-doubles in their dub. Oh my gosh. Tatum dropped 29 points, and Brown an even better 34. And not only that, on the defensive end, Tatum had 4 steals while Jaylen Brown had 4 blocks. Now that, for me, is a differential. That's the differentiator. That's the difference. That's what separates Tatum from Luka in my eyes. And that is because Tatum has defense. When the Mavs and Celtics played against each other, for example, Jason Tatum scored 15 on Luka while Luka was defending him. And Luka, only 2 points on Jason Tatum. Now you can't say Luka can't score. Luka could score. We know Luka can score. So can Tatum. Tatum went 5 for 8 on Luka. When Luka, only even got up 2 shots. Yeah, he got one of his 2 shots. So he wasn't even trying to score on Tatum. He didn't have the opportunities in the space. And that's what I like about Tatum is he's diverse. He has offense and defense. I'm not saying Luka's not versatile. I mean, Luka has stats across many categories in the NBA at the time, at this moment. He's top 3 in steals per game with just about 2. He's number 3 in total assists so far this season, right below Trae Young, who also, I think, needs a few years before I can talk about him in the MVP talk. We just gotta get that boy some defense. Now, you will see Luka on the total points list, right below Tatum, tied for Tatum. Prior to tonight's game, because the Mavs played, Luka and Tatum were both top 3 for total points so far. So, it's not fair to say he's not versatile, but to me, Tatum's game just translates more. Now, this game against the Mavs actually kickstarted a little hot streak for the Celts, led by the one and only Tatum, starting with Thanksgiving Eve. At halftime, Tatum already had 23 points and 8 rebounds. They held a 21-point lead, which obviously resulted in a fourth quarter win against Luka and his Mavs. Don't get me wrong, Luka too, he had 42 points that night, but Tatum had 23 at the half. He finished the game with 37 points. The following game had 30 points. The one after that had 35, and then he dropped a 49 points. Massive 49 points in his last game of November against Miami, who actually has a really good defensive team. Not only are these MVP numbers, but the numbers are translating to the board. They're translating to wins for the Celtics, which is, in basketball, the most important part. Like LaVine, he dropped 41 the other day, and they lost. I don't want to talk about the Bulls. I don't want to talk about the Bulls. The last thing I want to talk about is the Bulls. And you know what? DeRozan used to be on this MVP ladder, and he's disappeared. And we're not going to see him again. And that's not because Zach is taking his place. It's because the Bulls have a worse record than the Knicks. Do you know how sad that is? Anyways, I could go on and on about Tatum, like I said. And he's only 19. Just kidding, he's 24 now. But remember when he was only 19 and we were still talking about how good Tatum was? I'm kind of going to breeze past Luka on this list just because we know what Luka's about. Giannis, I also want to breeze past Giannis because before I touch base on anybody else here, because I'm only going to touch base on some people because I've been talking about Tatum for 10 minutes already and I just don't think that we should focus so long on each person. I want to mention who's not on this list, and that's LeBron James. And the reason I want to mention this is because people talk about LeBron James like he is a god. Still, yes, he's one of the greatest to ever play. But is he currently the greatest right now? No, he's not even. He's not even. And don't come for me, because you know what? If you ask me what impresses me about LeBron James, is his amazing ability to flop. No, I'm just kidding.
I gotta learn how to flop or something.
That was a joke, but really, seriously. Is his longevity. That's the best thing about LeBron James, is that he's this dominant in this age. Not that he's dominant. He's dominant for his age. We're not talking about 2013 LeBron anymore. We're not talking about 2012, 2013. We're not talking about the LeBron that was going to the finals with the Heat. We're talking about 2022 Lakers LeBron. I went to a Lakers game last week. You could hear a pin drop. Lakers fans, what happened to you? You mean to tell me that when the Staples Center had Kobe Bryant on the floor, that it was silent? That it was silent? Have there been rosters? Do you want to compare Kobe in his old age to LeBron in his old age? Sure. But people, LeBron fans, don't talk about LeBron in the way Kobe was talked about. He's underwhelming for me. I can watch any Golden State game and be amazed by Curry. Any game, he will amaze me between the start of the first quarter and the end of the fourth. As for Luka tends to amaze me. And just so you know that I'm not biased and I'm not a LeBron hater, I hate Kevin Durant. I don't like Kevin Durant. But I watch Nets games, unfortunately. And there are more often than not, KD does something to amaze me. He's a great player. And this is a guy that came from 08. 07. The 07 draft class, okay? His longevity should be just as impressive, should it not be? And I don't want to hear that argument that Draymond just recently made, that LeBron he beat the greatest team to ever play. Realistically speaking, yes, the Warriors, who were 73-9, were the greatest record to ever play. That was the greatest regular season record was 73-9. But just below them was Michael Jordan's team. So how can that be your argument? If Michael Jordan is statistically on one of the best teams, how could that be your argument? And mind you, that was the year that they didn't even have KD. Once the Warriors added KD, realistically speaking, that would be the best team. Fuck the record. That's the best team. Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Boogie Clown Cousins. That was the best team to ever play. Did LeBron beat them? He absolutely did not. Next, Anthony Davis. 15 double-doubles this season. Over the last 2 games, he has 99 points. Actually, he just played right now, and I didn't check his stats. But over the ones before that, last 2 games, 99 points. 55 and 44. He dropped 55 and 44 on Washington, and then on the Milwaukee Bucks. Anthony Davis, a post man who's in the post, scored in the post on Giannis in the Bucks, 44 points. And the most important part, they translated the wins. He's a shining star on the Lakers, not LeBron. And you know who else started to shine, which I was long awaited. He's probably trying his hardest not to get traded at the moment. Russell Westbrook. He's fallen to his role player position. Over those past 2 games I just mentioned, 13 assists was his average. Now that they're back into the swing of things, they may have a potential shot at the championship. Now, to me, that's kind of an important part of the MVP. How close are you to getting the championship? It's like, for me, realistically, the Celtics, the Warriors, if they can be the Warriors, maintain being the Warriors, and if Klay could shut up and Draymond can stop hitting his teammates, maybe the Lakers could get back in it. Because from their first 12 games, they were on a 5-loss streak, then they won 2, and then they lost 5, or something of that sort. For the past 10, prior to tonight, because they lost, they won 8 of them. So now, past 11, they still won 8. But still, I mean, that's a lot better from how things were looking earlier. LeBron, he is good. I'm not saying he's not good. He's just not consistent anymore. AD is getting a little more consistent, which is good, because if he can stay healthy, I'd love to see AD. We haven't seen AD be AD in years. Also, he's one of the leaders in blocks this season, with 48 blocks. Number 3, behind Brook Lopez and actually Nick Claxton of the Nets. Davis is also number 2 in total rebounds so far this year, right under Zubac. However, that's not fair because AD was injured and he didn't play as much games. So if you break it down game for game, AD's number 1. As for Westbrook, also inconsistent, but hey, when he wants to be Westbrook, he can be Westbrook. Giannis has won it. I don't want to, Jokic, I'm not even going to mention. But as for the Celtics, are they more impressive than the Milwaukee Bucks? As a team? Yes. Now does that up Jason Tatum's MVP talk, or does it degrade it? Like, oh, he has help. Well, we can't blame the coach because he got fired. Actually, Tatum just won Player of the Month alongside his coach, who won Coach of the Month. But like I said, he has Jaylen Brown, who on a day that Tatum didn't play, carried the weight, brought the Celtics to a win on a 36-point night against the Wizards. Now Brogdon, former Rookie of the Year, refers to the Boston Celtics as a treat, I think, for an NBA player. He recently had a quote, treat for an NBA player. Best team he's ever played for, allegedly. Same guy that's played alongside Giannis. Now I'm not here to talk the Greek freak. I love him. Love the guy. Love Luka too. However, for me, Jason Tatum should stay at the head of the MVP ladder. And if he can maintain this, which I don't see him stopping, at 24 years old no less, Tatum might be one of the greatest players we are going to see in this generation. Like, for book. But I do want to touch base on number 6, Stephen Curry, because 1, my name is Steph, and 2, I do say Curry amazes me. That's what my bet is. Watch a Curry highlight reel. And not human. The other night he dropped 30 and 10, 30 points, 10 assists. 8 of those field goals were 3-pointers, which, mind you, this is his 70th game having 8+ 3-pointers made. Weird stat, but let that sink in. 8 3-pointers is a lot of 3-pointers. For fuck's sake, the record is 14 or 13. 14. Klay Thompson? 13 Zach LaVine. 13. Zach LaVine is tied for second. Fact check me on that. Zachary Thomas LaVine. Second highest 3 points per game. But I won't. Stephen Curry. 8 3-pointers. 70 times. The runner-up, mind you, for this stat is not even a close one. With 23 games, which would be 47 less than Curry, is Damian Lillard. Nobody's touching Curry. As for Jason Tatum, he's getting recognition for everyone. AD got a little shout out from Pau Gasol, another Lakers legend. I could comment on John Morant. I think Ja's like a year behind what I'm saying about Tatum. like 2 seasons from now, I will say all of this again about Ja Morant. Because 2 years ago, Tatum was still amazing, but like now we're seeing an MVP. Someone that you won't even believe is 24. Ja started off the season really hot. He had like a 49-point game within one of the first weeks, if not the first week of regular season ball. That was a hot stat line. And I'm not saying Ja's bad, I just think he needs time. Now, I know I only touched base on a few of these guys, but whatever you guys think, leave in the comments down below. If you want to argue with me, I'm all ears. I love arguing. So without further ado, I've done enough talking. You guys say whatever you want to say. Let me know down below. I will answer you. This video was kind of long just because I wanted to kind of break the ice on my thoughts so far this season, so I kind of went a little above and beyond just the MVP talk. That's all for today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming to the one and only Niky's Corner. For more videos like this, or anything else basketball related, or whatever comes to my mind, hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave me a comment. Like I said, I will answer you. Niky, out.
Nigga, get your ass checked like a fucking Nike.